Hello and welcome to another episode of Mortgage Video Mastermind, where we bring you professionals who share insight into the latest trends, tips, industry, technology, and services to help you create more videos to use in your mortgage business. Nice. Well, we're live, so we're jumping midstream here.
Right into it.
And welcome everyone. It's good to see the gang hole here. So happy for that. So hello. How is everyone?
Great.
Good. So on a side note, I will share that this is Frazier's last episode with us. For a while, we'll have him on as a guest. I know we can always talk him into that. So So we want to thank you for joining us on our journey every week and sharing your expertise, and we do appreciate it. I know you have a new role, so you're going to be busy with that. So I'm going to actually just let you kind of talk a little bit about maybe some of the new things you're doing. And, you know, part of what I wanted to talk about today was leveraging your videos, how to share them with realtors. Obviously, it's so important right now, those calls we're making. So, Jason, I'll go ahead and let you kick it off. And if you guys have questions for Frazier, go ahead and type them in the chat box or type them in the comments, and always remember, blame it on Frazier.
Yeah, exactly. So I want that to make sure that continues on.
It's only $30 per question answered. It's only $30. So it's a bargain.
It is. I mean, it's perfect. But yeah. So thank you. Like
awesome. Frank's here too.
And Frank's here. So the whole gang. Yeah. So I've again just totally enjoyed doing this with you guys. It's so much fun, and obviously I'm a big believer in video. But yeah, like you said, so I do have a new role recently. Moved to a new organization called Victorian Finance, and so I'm running their marketing, and I'm doing a lot more coaching now than I did in the past with loan officers via what I'm doing in Next Level, but also at VicFin. So so I'm doing a lot of agent scripting, a lot of agent lunch and learns, and a lot of new things that I just was not doing before. And then I've also had a few vendors within the company ask me to advise them on a more structured basis in regards to their platforms and whatnot. So it's just so it's just my timing, and something had to give, and unfortunately had to be, because I was able to push it off today, but every Wednesday now I will be in a session during the Wednesday afternoon. So it just kind of all hit, but that's really what I'm doing now is a little bit more of the same, but I'm doing just more speaking, more coaching. The coaching is really the biggest part of it. I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy helping the company that I'm with, just because it's a different culture, just a smaller shop, but they have big aspirations, and so it allows me to do a lot of fun stuff that I haven't been able to do the last couple of years. So I'm really excited for it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Cool. And we look forward to seeing what you're doing. And it's funny you're talking about that, because that's really, as we were all getting onto the call before, Scott and I were just talking about, he's been doing, creating some lunch and learns. And I know we're going to unpack that probably in an upcoming episode, lunch and learns with HomeBot, which is, people don't think about doing lunch and learns with the technology that you have available. So I love the HomeBot. Obviously, I'm driving down that path as far as automated webinars, and I'm going to be putting together some training on that as well. We have access to our slide decks and our Edge Marketing Toolbox, and so kind of unpacking what that looks like. We talked about beautiful.ai, is that right? The site, which Frazier, you said you worked on. So I'm excited about, again, the collaboration and different tools and things like that. So those are some of the things that are coming up. Frank, you and I need to get together still and talk about creating a slide deck for listing agents, not just first-time homebuyers. Oops, you're muted. You're on mute.
In addition to first-time home buyer, why not have first-time home seller?
Yeah, I love that.
And work on that, because there's so many people that bought a home, in the past 6-7 years that have all this equity. It was their first time they bought.
Yeah.
But now they're thinking on selling and doing something else. I don't know. I just think it would be cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. So just looking at that and continuing.
Speaking to
So,
Frank,
so
about the time
let's
you
just
think you're a
dive into it.
badass, Frank just comes in and just squashes everything. I always leave feeling so inadequate after meeting with him. So
We all do. We all do.
Whatever.
it's a great idea.
He doesn't have his what do you call it? The harp,
Jaw
Also,
harp.
the
jaw harp.
Yeah, I do. I have it with me. I can
Okay.
play it right now.
Always.
Do a little ditty
I decided I'd just carry it with me all the time now.
all the time. Why not?
You know
Is it
why?
on a necklace?
You know why? Because it's I just think it's one of those instruments that more people need to know about. I mean, the electric guitar gets too big of props. You know what I mean? Too many props when you could have a jaw harp. And
What if I could use my thing?
yeah,
I feel like I
that's
need
what
a
it is, man.
jug.
Hey, you know what? We should all learn a hillbilly instrument on this call. And every time we start this call, we should play a little hillbilly song, little
Oh, I
old timey
love
song.
that.
Yeah.
Get it started.
I want
Now,
to
that's
use the
video
old
marketing.
I want to use the
I don't know, I'm good.
washboard.
I'm getting
The old
PTSD
washboard.
from deliverance right now,
washboard.
so I don't know.
You guys just gave me a great idea.
Ah,
I'm gonna do some little short vids with the jaw harp.
I think that's a really good idea.
Oh yeah. Oh, no.
Little intros.
Yeah.
You're full.
Well, so I do think I love what you said talking about the first time listings. And I think that's a real opportunity that we have as loan officers, can even help agents understand that. And that's part of that's part of why I love HomeBot. The lunch and learn I was putting together isn't about HomeBot. It's about building a prospecting list of home sellers. It's about building a prospecting list of home buyers, and HomeBot just happens to be the one tool that does that. And so it's not about the product, it's about these needs that real estate agents have. And then if you can come in there and say, by the way, I have this tool and I can sponsor you on this tool, then what we're talking about now is building relationships with agent referral partners, which Carl has been on all of us for well over a decade, that's how you build your business. But, in the last 2 years, a lot of people got so buried with refinances that they kind of some people neglected their agents, right? And now is the time where we need a full pivot into agents, but everybody's pivoting into agents, including all of the call center loan officers that have never done a purchase money before, but their boss is saying now we're doing purchases because there's no refis out there. So, I think the topic for today is leveraging content and video for real estate agents, right? I mean, that's such an important thing to do right now. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up with for first time listings. I think that's absolutely brilliant. We're thinking about the agents, but I don't know that they're thinking this way. There's all these people that have bought these homes and they've never sold before, and their houses worth so much money. They're sitting on all this equity. And they probably have real estate agents hounding them all the time, right? Because they can tell from their farm how much equity they have. And helping them. Have you started on this, Frank? You guys got any ideas on what kind of conversation
I'm just
would have?
bursting with ideas, Scott.
I can see it
Just
behind you.
Bursting with ideas. Yeah. And then, the angle for the originator, of course, is, and especially with the webinar jam, it's so cool because you can do the co-branded webinars. It's so cool, man. But the deal would be, this would be the deal. It's like, hey, I'm going to put this all together for you, Mr. or Mrs. Real Estate Agent, and we get this thing going. And if we pick up a deal and you pick up a listing, the deal is, I want to do that seller's loan. Make sure first things first, we get them pre-approved so we can buy another house with me. And then think about that. For any originator today, would you rather have, no, look, we all got to do deals for first-time FHA buyers, and these first-timers need to get homes. I'm not saying anything bad, but as an originator, I mean, I'd rather have a guy who's working with $250,000 in equity selling his house to buy another house right now as a pre-approved and looking than someone who's a first-time home buyer. You know, I mean, that offer is probably going to get accepted, you know, when they make an offer. So being able to wedge ourselves into that spot with the real estate agent using first-time home seller webinar, making the deal with the real estate agent. Hey man, we get these deals. I want to do the pre-approvals for them because, you know, it's just a win-win all the way around. And let me tell you something, you help a real estate agent get a listing, you're on their love list in a big way, in a big way, you know?
Yeah.
You know, on this topic of videos for real estate agents, were you talking about originally, Ginger, were you talking about like doing a video to attract the agent or doing the video with an agent to go out to their database?
I think you can do both. So you know, what we have been doing on the webinar jam is, you know, calling an agent and asking if they would like to have a co-branded webinar for first-time homebuyers. And Frank came up with the idea of doing one for listing agents, or to attract, you know, those who want to list.
To attract sellers.
Sellers,
Not for listing agents per se, any agent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Any
Just to have something to find sellers.
Like getting the listings rather than having the home buyers, because obviously, you know, that's what they want. So, you know, I think really, I think it's twofold. I think you could do a video or a webinar and invite agents on to talk about, you know, how to attract sellers. Oh, and set them up on the automated webinar and give them the link.
So one thing I did, gosh, I used to do it a lot. You know, it's funny, we do things, I'm not going to put you in the same boat. I do things and they work so well. They help me grow so much that I stopped doing them, right? Yeah, this would fall right into that.
Exactly.
What was I doing?
Nobody else can relate to that, I'm sure. Yeah. So what I used to do with great success is I would connect up with agent. You know, so I had a real smart guy, Dan Kennedy, told me one time, he said, Carl, find a parade and then find a cool way to get in front of that parade. All right. And I thought, all right, I like that. So I could either A, build my own parade, or B, I see that, you know, Ginger's got a parade, and find a cool way to grab my majorette, you know, thing. Well, that's probably a bad example, but you get the idea. To be in front of that, right? Yeah. There is no pink tutu in Carl's future. So one thing. So what I used to do is I would get with these real estate agents, and I would. So Ginger, let's say it's you. I would. You know, you've got a database, and the average real estate agent has 300 people. And so if I do this strategy, what you're going to spell out, Ginger, I do it with you. Frank, I do it with you. Jason, you, Scott, you. So that's 4 people. 4 times 300 is 1,200. So now I've got 1,200 people just like that, right? And which, if left on my own, takes a long time to build a database of 1,200, but to connect up with just 4 people and have it happen. So then what I would do is, Ginger, you and I would get in front of a little camera, and again, I would just use my smartphone camera, whichever smartphone I had. And what we'd do is we'd have somebody hold the camera for us, and we would give a tip of the day. So it'd be like, you know, Ginger, if you and I were on the camera, we're standing there side by side, and would say, hey, everybody, my name's Carl White. And Ginger would say, hey, and I'm Ginger Bell. And we're here for you. We called it the Wednesday Minute. I'm here for your Wednesday Minute. Now, keep in mind, I'm doing this with multiple agents, right? So on Wednesdays, would do it on Monday and Tuesday. I'd pop around to several agents' offices and record, and then would blast it out on Wednesday. And what we would do, Ginger, is we'd give them a simple little tip, a simple little strategy. And it wouldn't necessarily be people of how to sell a home, because if they just bought a home or just sold their home, they're probably not going to do that for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And so they're not interested in that. So we do kind of like life hacks, I guess. And actually, that's what I used to Google, is life hacks, like simple life hacks. And one of them, you know, we've all seen this one before, is like, you know, in your gas gauge on your car, you know, have you ever borrowed somebody? So Ginger, so we would do the video, and Ginger and I would say, hey, you ever been in your spouse's car, friend's car, maybe you rent a car and you pull up to the gas pump and you don't know which side the tank's on. And man, is it me, Ginger? Or does everybody else always end up guessing?
Wrong side.
Well, if you look on the gas gauge of every single car, there's a little arrow on the fuel gauge that shows you which side the tank is on. And if it doesn't have an arrow, which on the fuel pump that's in the picture on your gauge, if the handle of the pump's on the left side, the filler tank is on the left side, and vice versa. And a lot of people might not know that. So anyway, that's our tip of the week. And then I would say, hey, by the way, gang, if you're looking to buy or sell a house, man, Ginger is absolutely amazing. If I was looking anywhere in this area, boy, Ginger be the person that I would use. You do a great service, Ginger. And so I'm saying how cool Ginger is. And then Ginger says, hey, and Carl, boy, anytime somebody's getting financing, man, it's good to know that we have somebody that we can trust when we refer to you, and we really appreciate you. Because it's one thing for me to say, hey, I'm really cool and awesome. But it's another thing when Ginger says, hey, he's really cool and awesome, right? So it's much more, I don't know, pleasant way for it to come across. Yep. And Ginger, they know you, right? So they trust you. So when you say, hey, I trust Carl, Carl's who I trust, and that's going out to your database. Now they trust you. Now they trust me. And so that cold call thing is just totally gone. And on that, we would put both of our contact numbers on the little web page. So it'd be gingerswednesdayminute.com. And we'd put both of our contacts with that simple little 1-2 minute video and blast out to their database. And I would do that exact same video with Frank, with Jason, with Scott, and and a number of other real estate agents. And what the agent got from it is I'm reinforcing them to their database. They're not getting in front of their database. Now I'm going to help them do that. I'd have my team be the one to edit to edit the little video and put it on the little simple website. And so I did all the heavy lifting as far as like getting it done. I would be the one to look up the topic. So all they had to do is pop into their office, say, hey, here's what we're going to talk about. 3 minutes later, I'm out of there. So, and then what I get out of it is I get introduced to all these databases with them saying, Carl's who I trust. And man, that worked really, really good for me. A lot of you know that story. I did that with an insurance company, and we got so many loans out of that insurance company that we actually ended up opening up an office within their office because we got so much from those people. And it all came from shooting these silly little 1-2 minute life hack video. So very, very, very successful.
I love that. And now, I mean, being able to go there live is great. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with technology now, you could even do it like what we're doing here on a Zoom, to where you just have, hey, Frank, every Monday you and I are going to do a call at 8:00 in the morning. We're going to record a 90-second video. Here's what we're going to talk about. It's a recommendation. And then that way you can have that posted out for them.
And you know what? That's a great point, Ginger, that we wouldn't have to drive to their office these days to do it. We could do like just me and you on a Zoom meeting, one of both, sitting side by side kind of thing, and then blast that out. So we would email it out to their database, and then would also put on their Facebook page. That little video. But you're absolutely right. You wouldn't have.
You would get their database and 100%. You would email it out to them. So that's.
I would offer them one of two ways. I would say, hey, do you have a way to email out your database? If yes, we would do that. If they said no, then we would get I think we use MailChimp. We would do that for them. But I'd tell them, hey, look, this is your database, and I'd never do anything uncool. Hey, and if ever this doesn't work out, you tell me to stop. And we'll stop, and your database stays with you. So, just being really cool.
I love that idea. And
if we found, Ginger, if we had to count on them to do any part of it,
it ain't going to happen.
So two things. First of all, I love that. Super simple to do, right? And you're bringing incredible value to them. Plus, you're teaching them how to do videos. And, for me, I always thought, oh, realtors, they're good at marketing. They know how to do videos. They're struggling with them. I mean, they really are. For a lot of them, they're not sure how to do them, what to talk about, and the ease of use. So making that, path to least resistance for them, that it's super simple, it's a great thing for them.
That worked. I mean, we did, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of loans, like literally I got from those strategies. And I only did it with probably, maybe 6 agents, I think I did it with, or something like that. But man, we were out in front of their database, and
Well, I got to tell you something. I got to chime in on this. Is I remember when you released that gas gauge video, Carl. Now this is years ago. This is probably 15 years ago, or at least 12 years ago, when you released that thing. To this day, okay, I look at the gas gauge to figure. I know about that stupid gas gauge tip. And I swear to you guys, I even do it in my own car, even though I should know what side it's on in my car. I can't tell you how many times I pull in the gas station in my own car and go, what side is it on again? I look at the gas. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's on the right-hand side. All right. I pull in, but every time, I swear to you, brother, every time I do that in my brain, I think of you, brother. I think of Carl, because I learned that stupid little hack from Carl like 12 years ago. So it really, Carl, honestly, most of the time when I fill up my gas tank, you pass through my mind.
So what I'm hearing you say is every time you pass gas, you think of Carl. So got it. Okay.
I didn't know about the handle thing. I knew about the arrow, but I never knew about the handle thing.
Because not all of them have an arrow. If it doesn't have an arrow, it's the handle.
So now, see,
I'm the exact same way, Frank. I saw that video, and every time I go to the gas station, I look at the gas tank to remember which side it's on, because I saw that video.
And I think of Carl every time I do it. Like Carl's video.
No,
Carl
me too.
Gas.
Me too.
Carl Gas.
That's right.
But it's so true, it's easy to do. And Ginger, you were saying that, a lot of real estate agents are struggling with video. Yeah, everyone is, like so many loan officers too, that it's just, I do think that there's probably more originators that, dip their toe in the water in the video space. I think there's probably more. But even in the mortgage space, there's still a lot of people that have not,
oh my gosh,
dip their toe in the water, and everybody should. It's no big deal. And especially with the phone, it's become so brainlessly simple. I'm just editing a video right now, and I'm doing it. There's a little app you can get it called Video Leap. Yeah, Leap, L-E-A-P, Video Leap. And it's a built-in editing thing where you can just do a ton of stuff right in your smartphone. Right in your smartphone. And from there, you just push the button. It'll go anywhere you want it to go. Yeah. You can add music, things, gizmos, gadgets, whatever. Ooh, that's a good gizmo gadget. I think I'm going to do that one. But Video Leap, it's interesting. And I got it, a couple months ago, and I decided I want to start working on real short videos, like 15-second videos. Nice. You know what I mean? I want to start doing that for Breakfast Club and, for other things. And so I just was experimenting this morning with it, learning how to use the app. Let me tell you, extremely intuitive, very simple to use. So anyone could just get started right away. There's nothing to it. These tips, what a great idea.
So
what a fabulous idea.
So the other thing, and I want to bring this up because I had someone ask me this question yesterday. Because obviously, and we have our Edge Marketing Toolbox, and they have scripts that they get every month. And I was talking to someone about using them, and he's like, well, if everybody's using the scripts, then it's all going to be the same. And I said, you know what? You all do mortgages. You're already talking about the same thing anyway, right? So, if you're doing the video, the scripts give you an idea. And the same thing, you're talking about the same life hack with 6 different realtors every week, right? But the conversation you have with Frank is going to be different than the conversation that you have with me or Scott or Frazier. And so even though it's the same life hack each week, it's going to be different, right? And it's going out probably to a different database.
It is.
There's probably not a lot of crossover, right?
Not a lot of overlap. Very little.
Algorithms are so crazy. Such a small percentage of people see things at any given time anyhow. I think sometimes we think that everybody sees everything we put out, and it's just not true.
What are you talking about, Scott?
Well, I see everything that you put out.
Hurting my feelings.
It seems like it.
Great. I shouldn't even try now.
Not even close. It's just that you can't oversaturate. You can't you can't do too much. And Ginger, you're 100% right. The way that I always like to say it is there's not 10,000 questions about qualifying for a mortgage. There's 10 questions asked 10,000 ways. And consumers ask the exact same question a million different ways, and we answer the question differently in a million, because there's nuance to it. There's always a different way to get to it. What I've been experimenting with lately that's working really well, and we wanted to get Leon Belov on here. He's a loan officer out in Philadelphia and New Jersey. And what we've been doing is just telling success stories. So a lot of people don't know what to talk about. So we just talk about people that you've helped. And my hypothesis was, it is now turned into a theory, is that most people aren't going to listen to the whole thing every time anyhow.
Right.
But if they keep hearing that you're taking a consumer that maybe was told no by another loan officer, and here's why they were told no, this is a pretty common mistake, here's the actual guideline, here's how we fixed it, here's how you avoid this problem if you're listening to this video. And we're just telling these success stories of these families that were trying to get into a home. It wasn't super easy, but we guided them through and we got them to the finish line. And all we are literally doing is setting up retargeting. So if anybody looks at that content, if anybody lands on that page, we're following them around the internet. And Leon has had some really, really interesting experiences. He had an agent that he was stalking for about 5 years that does something like 85 buy sides a year. This guy got caught up in a retargeting of just Leon telling a story about a client that he saved. Agent reached out to him, set a lunch appointment, and sent him a couple of deals. The more recent thing that we're doing is, because now Leon's on a pretty regular basis recording success stories. So what we did is we took a custom audience of all of the agents that he's done business with and that he wants to do business with, and a custom audience in Facebook of all of his past clients. And he's been running just success stories. There's no call to action. There's no sale. We just transcribed the video and we just ran it. And his referral business increased like 25 or 30% in the last 60 days.
Nice.
Like he normally gets about 100 referrals. He said now he's getting 125, 130. And he said one of his clients just showed up at his office with his bank statements in hand because I guess he saw a video of him talking about going through bank statements. And so it's not even a message. It's exhibiting the fact that you are an expert at what you do. And what we do as loan officers is we're professional loan problem solvers. That's literally all we do. Is you have a bunch of problems that's standing in the way of you getting a mortgage. We need to solve those problems so that you can get your mortgage and get your home.
You know,
right?
You know what that is though, is that's almost a perfect example of a kind of a counter argument to what Ginger just said, right? So what Scott's talking about isn't like something that's brand new, right? And I'm sure other people have heard this before, but he actually executed on it, right? He actually did it. And to your point, Ginger, is there's a ton of scripts out there.
Yeah.
Like, Dave Savage and Mortgage Coach gives them away every week. And the point is that
has them.
not everyone's going to do them, for one, but two is I don't like to call them scripts. I like to call them starts. And to me, the best script is going to be one that you take as inspiration to say what you say in your voice, because it's, as we all know, it's not the message, it's the messenger, right? So they can hear it 5 different ways from 5 different people, but then they see, Frank talk about it and they're like, oh, I kind of like Frank, so I'm going to listen. Oh, wow, this is groundbreaking. I've never heard this before. And then that ends up doing it. So to me, that's more of like, you're looking for excuse not to do anything, as opposed to like, sure, there's going to be a ton of other people that do it, but guess what? No, they're not, or they're not going to do it well or execute correctly. And they're just going to do it verbatim, as opposed to someone that's like, I'm going to talk about it the way I would say this, because I wouldn't say it like this, but I didn't think about framing it like that. So I'm going to frame it in my way. So that's what everyone, when it comes to scripts, is that, is that you should just take it as a start to inspire you to say it in the way that you doing. And also understand that don't worry about it, because most of the people that you're competing against aren't going to be doing this anyway.
Exactly.
No, it's shockingly very, very few people do this. Very few
right.
people.
And this isn't a new tactic. This is something that I've talked about. I've heard Scott talk about it 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, but maybe someone that's watching now has heard it too. And, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But like, sometimes it just takes that one time to hear it to actually go and execute on it.
And that's literally it, is just executing it. And Ginger, Danny Ruiz, we got an update from him at Freedom Club. He just jumped in and started doing these TikTok videos in November. And now he's got about 7 or 8 loans that are closed and a big pre-approved and looking pipeline by doing Spanish TikTok videos for 5 months, 4 or 5 months, has like 30,000 subscribers. There's no this is something I've always said. There is no competition when you're doing online content, because nobody else is you. Right? Because you're always going to come across as being unique and being yourself. And our friend Alan Christian, one of the best examples of just being you and being out there and just documenting your life. It's just, there's no secret weapon, and the easy button is literally putting anything out there. Like anything.
And then to circle back around to what we talked about, and then we're going to hop off because we're at the top of the hour. Take whatever you're doing as far as, your videos, whether it's a story, whether it's an update, whether it's, a life hack, whatever that is, and use that when you're making your phone calls. So, Carl Thor's hammer, right? It's like, that is perfect to use in the calls that you're making, that you say, hey, do you ever have any, home buyers that, need to know about, getting a loan if they're self-employed or whatever. Hey, I just did a video on that. Can I send it to you? Leverage them. Don't just put them out there onto social media and say, okay, I'm done. And you can do them over and over again. And, it's like one of those things. It's like things change, there's changes happening all the time. But do the video, think about all the different ways you can use it. So whether you're posting it on social, whether you're sending it out to your database, whether you're using it in your calls to your real estate agents, don't just think one and done. Think about all the different ways that you can go and leverage that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Frazier, adios, amigos. Are you staying in Atlanta? You're not going anywhere else?
No, well, I'm living in
out there.
Yeah. I've been telling everyone, I could leave Atlanta, but then my wife would divorce me and my mom would disown me, and those two aren't very attractive situations.
You just had Maryland move out there.
So. Yeah, exactly. So not going to happen. No, this is my home now. I'm staying here, and then the company's based out of Pittsburgh, but it's an easy flight from Atlanta there. Yeah. So other than just traveling to to events and stuff, I will be here for the long term.
Awesome. Well,
very cool.
We appreciate all you do, and obviously you're welcome anytime. So
well, thank you. It's been great. Love all you guys. You guys are great. It's been a fun time.
Awesome.
And it will continue to be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you for everyone tuning in. And remember, so also quick little update. So I updated our Mortgage Video Mastermind website, and it has links to our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook group. And so if you want to invite people on, we're putting the recordings up onto YouTube. I know, Scott, you have some things up there that are not posted live yet. I'm going to be putting some things up there when I start unpacking the whole webinar jam thing. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you go to mortgagevideomastermind.com, then you can get the link to do that. Okay. Thanks,
Fantastic.
guys. We'll see you all next week.
See y'all later.
Frank, you going to take us out with the Perfect.